Let's talk about negative space. Oh yes. Greetings all. Today's little video is going to be doing a little bit about negative space. Now this is just part one. I tend to do a second part to this one. But this is just a bit about the basics. And yeah, I just thought I'd basically just start off like that. Now, okay. So negative space. I'm pretty sure that we've all heard of the term negative space and why it is actually quite an important composition. And the thing is because everybody's heard of leading line, which is basically a line of some kind, whether it be a path or a hedgerow or something, leading into the main subject. So your eyes are drawn into the main subject. And you've got the rule of third, which, you know, it's basically if the photos, say, portioned off into 3 by 3, you know, your subject will be in one of the thirds. But one important one as well is negative space. And the reason this one is pretty important as well is because of the way that you draw your attention to the subject itself. Now with negative space, it's basically, it's an area surrounding the main subject, which is negative space, just plain. And then your subject itself will stand out because your eyes are automatically drawn to the subject, which is the whole idea of photos and that anyway, to draw your attention to a specific subject. Now, the thing is your human eyes see 3D with 2 eyes. A camera only sees 2D with 1 lens. So this is the difference between how you see things and your camera see things. And this is pretty much why negative space is actually really important, is to draw your eyes to the subject, because it's only 2-dimensional, not 3-dimensional as your eyes will see it. So, couple of examples. Well, let's go out and get some. Okay, so that was just a quick out and back. Yeah, quick out and back. This is basically, it's just pretty much a basic what to look for. And obviously I will go and do a bit more of an advanced stuff, which I have been practicing already, by the way. But this will hopefully be a bit of an idea of what it is, and things to look out for. So we're going to do, this one is sort of an obvious, so it is literally just a nothing space and a subject. And then hopefully on the next video I'll be able to show a little bit more. Here's a couple of the ones that I sent out. I'm going to save one to the very end because it's my favourite, as I always do. So here's a couple of real basic negative space. They ain't brilliant, but it's it's just to give a bit of an idea of what negative space is and how it works. So there we go. Real basic. It should give you a bit of an idea of what negative space actually is. And on to the very last two, which are a little bit, which are the next step along from those. And on the first one, you've probably seen this one before. And so I'll run you through what both of the next two shots are. But so one of them we've seen before, and the first one is it's basically the sky, a little bit of the sea, and the boat, just to show that you don't actually need all one colour or all one pattern or anything like that. It's all about creating a nothingness and the subject. So with the first one, which is a big proportion of the sky, a little bit of the sea, and the boat is just below the horizon. So you've got a lot of colour, but then you've got the boat, which is, it's almost like a shadow, really. It's all, you know, it's, but it makes it stand out because it's the subject. It makes it stand out. And I think it's quite effective, actually. I think it's really nice. The very, very last one, basically what you're doing is it's the sea, which was to get it almost blurry, like long exposure, but it wasn't a long exposure. And the old Swan is pier and the boat. But it's just to show that negative space is all about creating a nothingness so the subject stands out, and that's what this has done. It's to show the pier and the boat. So the negative space part is the sea, but I've washed it out so that the subject stands out, and I think it's really effective and nice. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of negative space and how it is actually quite an important composition. So, you know, you've got the other things, leading lines, rule of thirds, everybody uses them, but very, very few people tend to think about negative space to make the subject stand out. And yet it is so beautiful when you get it right. It is amazing. And that's why I wanted to actually have a go and play around doing it, because it's something that I'd never really thought about doing. So I thought I'd give it a bash. And you know what? Yeah, I can have so much fun with it. It's brilliant. And you can do it in quite a lot of different things. I mean, even with street photography, I've seen quite a few negative space in street photography of just pretty much just blank buildings and a person. And it looks so effective. And I've seen it done in landscape. I've seen it done in woodland. And it does seem to be the one composition that a lot of photographers forget to use, and I don't understand why. So the next time you're out and about, just have a go at trying to create that negative space in your subject, because it may seem tricky, but it's as tricky as the other, your lines and your thirds. It's just as the same as those. So yeah. I've got nothing else to say. So thanks for joining me on this nice little video. Probably not little now, I've probably waffled on too long, but you know what I mean. So give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share. You know the score, guys. Thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next adventure. See you soon.